Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the regularized momentum indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched the first video on the channel and all the videos after that, you need to go do that now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below in the description, and you should also see it pop up in the top corner right now. There is also a link down below to sign up for TradingView. You can save a little bit of money if you use the link below to sign up for your account. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform where we are having great discussions about all things to do with trading. Lastly, I get people who ask me if I can send them a list of all the winning indicators that we have discovered. If you are interested in receiving a list of all the indicators that we have tested, including the ones that we have discovered, but you are not interested in going back and watching all the videos from the beginning and all the way through to date, then what you can do is you can sign up for our Patreon. If you sign up for the $9 a month Patreon, then I will send you a list of all the indicators that we have tested to date. I also send out a updated list every week of all the indicators that we have tested up to that point. And if you are just interested in supporting the channel, there is a lower tier Patreon at about $3 a month that you can sign up for as well. So look for the Patreon link down below in the description to sign up for either of those. Alright, as I said, today we will be testing the regularized momentum indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So, to date, we have tested 215 indicators, and out of those 215 indicators, 82 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 82 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. Alright, so as I said, today's indicator is the regularized momentum indicator. You can see it here on the bottom of the screen. Pretty simple setup all in all. Not a whole lot visually happening with it. You can see that there is a 0 line on this particular indicator, and so it does kind of pivot around the 0 line. And then you have an oscillating line here, which is turning from red to green. You can see these red and green dots. And what we're basically going to do is when it goes green, when it gives us green dots, we are going to go long. When it goes red and gives us red dots, we are going to go short. So all in all, like I said, pretty simple setup, not too difficult to understand. Now, what we can do is let's go ahead and see if we can't throw some support and resistance on screen. So what I'm going to do is use a Fibonacci retracement from there to there, just to give us a basic kind of framework of where support and resistance may lay, and that also will coincide with Fibonacci levels, which often act as areas of support and resistance. And so it kind of has a double effect to being able to map out reasonably well areas of support and resistance. And so do that there. Let's go ahead and we will mark off this bottom like so. And yeah, we'll use the support and resistance lines just to kind of keep an eye on what is happening with price action, what is happening with support and resistance. Now, keep in mind that with the indicator down here at the bottom of the screen, the momentum indicator, that there are some instances with particular indicators that are zero line indicators that you would only take specific trading signals while the oscillating line is below the zero or above the zero. I personally don't find that a great way to use indicators. I mean, there are some indicators that obviously are set up to be traded in that fashion, but the vast majority of them, in my opinion, are not quite intended to be used that way. And so this is one of those indicators where I don't feel like that is the best way to utilize it. Sometimes what you can do is you can, let's see if we go in here. Don't know if it's going to let me do it. Yeah, there you go. And so what you can do is you could change it to where we are looking for specifically the zero line cross. And so once it crosses the zero line, you could take either a short or a long. And so you can kind of play around with it and kind of see what is best. But most of the time what I find is that with oscillating lines like this, oscillating indicators, is that when you are taking just the zero line crosses, they tend to be quite delayed signals. And so often what you want is to pick up a signal to enter into the market really as soon as possible. And so let's go ahead and start playing this out. And again, we'll keep an eye on what's going on with price action as well as the indicator itself. Pick up our first short signal right there. And we see that it falls out pretty quickly. Looks like, yep, definitely got us to the 60 pip take profit. You see that now price action is pushed down to this zone right here. This is one of the lowest zones that price action has reached in quite some time. If I scroll back as far as I can, you can see back here that in 2008 it was trading down at this level, but it has been a long time up into 2016 here. And so that acts as a rather significant area of support and resistance. In this case, it would be support because price action is coming down to it. And so it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with price action as it bounces along this level. See that spikes down below right here. But the question is it going to maintain this position, or is it immediately going to be spiked right back up above? Let's see what happens. So it's rejecting pretty quick, and it wasn't immediate. Sometimes you'll see these massive red candles, and then almost immediately you'll see a candle that is almost just as big. They often call it railroad tracks when that happens. And so in this particular case, it took a few days, 4 days, before it finally spiked itself back up over that area. And so that's a pretty good sign of rejection. Now let's keep an eye on our indicator down here at the bottom. Looks like we pick up a short signal, or a long signal there for just a moment, then a short signal for a moment, and then we pick up the long signal right there, which would have gotten us up above back into this area and gotten us to first take profit off of that. And so it rather nicely rejected this lower level, this lower price here. Now let's just keep an eye on it, see what else it does. It's riding out for a while. We pick up a red candle, or a red signal right about here. Keep playing this out. Looks like we are going to, well, actually looks like we might have picked up take profit. Yeah, we did. On this really long wick to the downside, we were able to get to first take profit. Then we pick up a long right here. That one didn't work out for us too well. Short right there also didn't work out for us too well. Then we're on this one right here. Not quite sure what it's gonna do. Fortunately gets us stopped out. Then we flip for a long right there, and almost immediately come back and pick up a short. And then another long. See right there. Then we finally get ourselves into a long trade right here, and that one takes off in our favor. Pick up a short over here. Let's see. Don't think we, yeah, we got to take profit on that one as well. Then this long right here, let's go ahead and play it forward. Unfortunately gets rejected pretty quick. And we are up here bouncing off this area of resistance to the upside as it does start to get rejected to the short side here. And we'll go ahead and play this out some more. Doesn't fall too far to the short side. But what it does is it bounces off this area of support, comes back up, hits this area of resistance to the upside, painting these wicks that are spiked up above the area of the Fibonacci area that we had drawn, and then almost immediately starts to reject right here. And that's a pretty good chance of going down. See how far that made it. Yep, that made it to first take profit. But then it bounces off that support one more time and is attempting to push its way back up. It's now starting to throw these wicks to the upside, the same area. Let's see if we're going to double top here or if it's going to spike through. A little bit of a spike through, a little bit more. Let's see if it holds this area or if it does a hard rejection. Anytime you get a break above or below an area of support and resistance, you want to see if the price action holds that or if it almost immediately spikes itself back down through that. In this case, if it does spike itself back down underneath this line, then that's going to be a pretty good sign that it's rejecting that area, and we're probably going to head short at that point just because it's bounced off this area so many times. That was a rather strange candle right there because we actually opened, we went from 1 week's close to 1 week's open, and it was a gap down, and then it ended up coming up and giving us that green candle there. And looks like it's going to hold this level. Is now come down, hit this area. So basically what happens is when you break up above, I mean in this particular case, of course it would be reversed going the other way. We broke up above this area of overhead resistance. It then becomes support on the lower side, and so as price action comes down, hits it and starts to roll up and off of it right there. Did pick up a short signal here for just a moment. Don't think we got 60 pips out of that. Nope, we did not. And so price action is now starting to roll and looks like it's going to make a run for this upper support level here. Let's play it out and see what happens. Not really sure exactly if it's going to, but that's what it kind of looks like. So nope, so we get almost an immediate hard rejection of this area. Again, now that we've had rejection of this upper area, it's a pretty good chance that we're going to see some kind of movement to the downside. Even more so than we have. It's a shame we'd be in a good deal late. If we would have followed our indicator, we actually would have been in up here and actually in a rather decent position at this point. So go ahead and play it forward and see what happens. There we go. So it started to come back up and then immediately rejected that overhead resistance one more time, giving us a pretty strong sell, and then it just kind of collapses down from there. It's now come down here. Looks like it's going to start to bounce off this lower area of support. Let's mark off. Let's see here, there, and here. Then we pick up another one here. Short for just a moment there. That one unfortunately would have gotten us stopped out. And now it looks like it might start to reject this area of support. We've had a strong push to the downside. Let's play it out a few bars and see what's happening. Now it's painting these wicks through this area of support, pointing to the downside. Wonder if it's going to hold. We've gotten a long signal on the indicator right here at this point. So be fascinating to see. Looks like it's starting to reject this area of support, maybe push its way back up to at least this overhead line here. See what happens. Bounced along that area, and it did eventually take off to the upside. Nicely done indicator. It definitely gave us ample forewarning that it was about to reverse and take off, and it did so right at this area of support. That would have been a really good call and a really good trade. Now we're up here. Let's see what it's going to do. Maybe pinball around a little bit. Picked up a short right here. Looks like that got us to take profit right on that long wick, and it did. Then we pick up a long right here. Not too bad. So back here at the beginning, we definitely got beat up right here in this area. That was not pretty when we started trading sideways right there. But this indicator definitely seems like it is giving some really decent early signals into trades. And so that can definitely be valuable. You have to be cautious. Because getting in too early sometimes can be a bad thing. But if you know how to play it right, if you know how to trade it right, getting in early can be really beneficial as well. The timing of this indicator seems to be rather nice. I mean, there are moments where it gets a little jerky. Could do better, most definitely. But all in all, it seems to be holding up pretty well for as many signals as it seems to be giving at this point. And moving on here, that one got us to take profit. Yeah, I mean, it really is calling the tops and bottoms of some of these trades rather decently. Be interested in seeing what happens when we add this all up. So instead of pressing, for those of you who may notice, so instead of just pressing the play button here and letting the candles play out, you can click this forward button right here, and each time you click it, it will play one bar forward from the current position. And so if you click it a bunch of times, it can, kind of replay rather quickly instead of going slowly. Something I've been doing lately is playing around with that instead of just hitting a replay. Can make things go a little bit quicker. I mean, this is really nice. I'm really surprised at how well this indicator is calling these tops and bottoms of these moves. That's really decent. With this combined with maybe a few other indicators to filter out a few other parameters, then this could do really well. If we could filter out these areas where it goes flatlined and choppy and starts to get torn up really bad, then this indicator could be really useful. Again, it's a little early to tell. Little early to tell exactly how many winning trades we have picked up off of this. But once we get to the end and we count them out, even if it is a losing indicator, it might be one of the rare ones that is worth holding on to and playing around with a little bit more. Let's see here. There. Man, it's these choppy areas. Those are the ones that are just beating up the win rate. Almost to the end of the year now. And you see that price action really is just kind of flatlined right here in this area. It's just bouncing and channel trading sideways. Let's see, pick up good trade there. A decent trade there. Decent trade there. We are right on the verge. 2017, so the end of the year right there. One more decent winning trade. All right, so there we have it. Let's go ahead and add these up and see what we get out of this indicator. Try to narrow things in a little bit better here. Right about there. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, and 52. So 52 signals all together. Make sure we're in the right place. Yep. See there, so 52 signals all together, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. And so, funny enough, that barely misses the 60% criteria. I think, like, by 1%. I mean, that's what, like 59 5960. Let's see here. 5961. So 5961 is, that is close to 60% criteria. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a pass. I mean, it is so absolutely minutely close, and I feel like this indicator really had something decent going on with it. And so if the criteria was slightly different, if it was giving really weird signals and signals at not very great points and stuff like that, then I would definitely say, yeah, it's close, but I don't think it's going to work out very well. Another thing that it has going on for it is the fact that it gave a lot of signals, but it gave a lot of accurate signals. And that is a rarity. That is not something that we typically see in an indicator. Typically, an indicator, as it trades or gives more and more and more and more signals, is typically the worse that it gets. And so we see a lot of over trading indicators that end up being just absolutely horrible because they give so many crazy sporadic signals that aren't good signals. In this particular case, it was giving a lot of signals, a lot of decent signals at really good times. I mean, right at almost the exact top and bottom of some of the small little pivot areas. And even though we want to get into trades to ride out the really long trades, the really good money making trades that are going to keep us in for a long time, you cannot overlook the small little in and out trades that are going to get you to first take profit over and over and over. And so like areas like this where we come up and we hit this little small leg, we take profit. And then we come up and we hit this small leg and we take profit. And down here we hit this small leg and we take profit. And here we take profit, here we take profit, here we take profit. Here we take a couple small losing trades, but then we take profit, and then we take profit, small losing trade, but then, and you can just follow along. Almost every single time that it created a pivot, it was calling it almost at the exact bottom or top of that trade. I mean, some of these are really good, and even in some cases, like over here, it called the bottom slightly before, give us, ample time to get in. And so, yeah, I don't typically I stick to the guns, and it has to be 60%, but I feel like this one meets a couple of the other criteria that overrides that just minute miss of the 60% criteria. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the yes list. I'm going to play around with this one for sure, and then we will move on to the next indicator from here. If you have not already, like this video, share this video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. So that way you know what indicators we have tested and are testing. Also, there is a link down below to join our Discord server, which is a free group communication platform where we discuss all things trading related. There is also a link down below to TradingView, and if you use that link to TradingView to sign up for an account, you will save a little bit of money. And lastly, there is a link down below to sign up for Patreon. Please sign up for the Patreon and support the channel the best way you can.